The charges are despicable. The man was president for 4 years. The country was way freer in terms of freedom of speech, the most important freedom of all, than under Joe Biden and the Democrats. The man governed for 4 years. Did America become fascist? This is a gigantic lie.
Dennis Prager appeared on Piers Morgan's show and completely dismantled the arguments of a woke guest. This wasn't just any debate, it was a total takedown. Dennis Prager's responses were so sharp and effective that even Piers Morgan was left stunned. Let's dive into the moment where Dennis Prager takes on this woke activist live on Piers Morgan Uncensored.
You know, first of all, let me say, I regret every tweet I've ever made, which is why I've given up on Twitter for now 14 months. Twitter is a cesspool, and I wish I had never been on it.
The tweet is a cesspool.
The President of the United States.
Your tweet was a cesspool.
Twitter is a cesspool as far as I'm concerned. But let me just make one thing clear.
Your tweet was a cesspool.
The President of the United States, the former President of the United States, Donald Trump, is demonstrably and objectively a racist, sexist, lecherous, fascist, sociopath and pathological liar who has dehumanized his political opponents, who's called his political opponents vermin, who has called immigrants, undocumented immigrants into this country, not people, and who has literally quoted Hitler. Hitler, Mr. Prager, literally quoted Hitler by talking about the poisoning of the blood of our nation. His followers, his MAGA followers, have made it very clear, objectively so, that their loyalty is not to the Constitution or to the democracy of this country.
It's absurd how they throw out accusations without providing any real context. If someone uses a phrase or makes a statement, does that automatically make it sinister? What matters is the intent and the situation in which it was said. Was there an actual harmful agenda behind it, or was it just a harmless comment blown out of proportion? Without proper context, these kinds of claims are nothing more than empty attempts to stir outrage.
Effectively calling, nearly 80 million people voted for Trump in 2020. That was nearly 10 million more than voted for him in 2016. So a lot of people in America vehemently disagree with you. Are you really saying, as you said in that tweet...
There's a lot of reasons to vote for Donald...
Are you really saying that 80 million Americans are white nationalist terror supporters?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the MAGA, his MAGA.
You said his supporters, all of them.
I'm talking about
all of them.
You asked me a question. You've asked me.
Right, but his supporters.
I'm trying to answer it.
Okay, let me be accurate. You said his supporters, all of them, are by definition white nationalist terror supporters.
Mm-hmm. I should have said his MAGA supporters. We have a better term for it now than we did in 2019. That's who I was referring to, and that I 100% stand by. If you support a racist, you are a racist. You support racism. If you support a fascist, you support fascism. This is not complicated.
But aren't you using... I will come, Dennis, I'll come to Dennis in one moment. I'm just curious, Reza, because you really were very reactionary when you thought Dennis was basically calling Palestinians as a group, inferring that they were all to blame for what's happening over there.
Yeah, that they were all terrorists,
and yet you were very quick to blame all Trump supporters and brandish them in the same way. Is there an inconsistency there?
First of all, I'm not talking about Trump supporters as slaughtering innocent people, but I am making it very clear, and I don't apologize.
Well, you said white nationalist terror supporters.
Donald Trump is a white nationalist. He is a supporter of white national terror.
It's honestly amusing how people just parrot talking points without any real evidence or explanation. If you ask them, why do you believe that, or how do you know, they rarely have an actual answer. They're just repeating what they've been told by certain media outlets or narratives. They say these things with such confidence, but there's no solid proof behind their claims. Accusing someone of being a white nationalist or saying the majority of the country supports such things is a massive statement, yet they offer zero evidence to back it up. It's all just empty rhetoric with no foundation.
Which is why he wants to completely forgive and pardon all of the J6 supporters who are in prison for insurrection and for violently attacking police officers. He is repeatedly used rhetoric in order to support, and his followers very much agree with those viewpoints.
All right, let Dennis respond.
Okay.
So,
first of all, he's not a racist. Okay, he's not a racist. He's not a white nationalist.
He's not a racist.
Not a neo-Nazi. He is not a racist. That is correct.
He's not a white
he
nationalist.
Care less about race. That is correct. He is not. The charges are despicable. The man was president for 4 years. The country was way freer in terms of freedom of speech, the most important freedom of all, than under Joe Biden and the Democrats. The man governed for 4 years. Did America become fascist? This is a gigantic lie, and that is the reason I say
Mr. Prager,
every day on my show.
If you're enjoying this kind of content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
President Biden called you vermin. How would you think about that? What does it mean when you call your political opponents vermin?
Yes. He didn't call all his political opponents vermin. And by the way...
No. He said Marxist, communists, the people on the left, vermin. Explain that to me. Explain that to me.
So fine, I'll explain it. The left wishes to destroy Western civilization, not liberals and not conservatives.
Oh, we do. That's right. We want to destroy Western civilization.
You're the So let me ask you something.
That's my goal.
I'll just give you one little thing.
When this conversation's over, I'm going to continue my process of destroying Western civilization as you know it.
Do you believe that there are two sexes or more than two sexes?
I believe that gender is what a person wants it to be.
Okay, fine.
I believe that people have the ability to decide.
And civilization. Okay, good.
Really? How many genders are in the Bible? How many genders are in the Bible, Mr. Prager?
What about the Bible?
How many genders are in the Bible?
2. And God created Adam,
you tell me,
male and female. He created them. I'll quote it to you in Hebrew if you want.
6.
It's honestly mind-blowing to see how far some of these people go. Dennis Prager's points about gender, the nuclear family, and the broader cultural shifts are spot on. He highlights something we're all seeing, the constant erosion of foundational values. And when you look at the actions of the far left, especially during protests and riots, it becomes even clearer. They seem to seize every chance to push agendas and behaviors that feel completely anti-American. It's not just about disagreeing politically anymore. It's about tearing apart the principles that hold the country together. Now, what do you think about this? Are these points hitting home for you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, and we've got plenty more to dive into. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.